So this week, the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, is back from his holidays. He's had a week off at Shoalhaven Heads, not going to Hawaii this year, of course. That didn't turn out too well for him last time around. But he's back at work, and it's really all about the vaccine. So the approval process for that first vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, is going to go to the Therapeutic Goods Administration next week. That will then set the clock ticking for how long it will be until people are actually getting the jabs. And there's an expectation that it won't be longer than about 2 or 3 weeks after the TGA signs off on it. Now, why is that important? Well, you can't actually import the Pfizer vaccine into Australia until the TGA ticks off on it. The AstraZeneca vaccine is a bit different. You can actually manufacture that here in Australia, but there's no TGA tick off on that yet. And the Pfizer one looks like it'll be first off the rank. So it's interesting, I think, on Monday morning that the health chief, Brendan Murphy, was basically saying that, hold your horses if you think you're going to be able to hop on a plane and go to Bali or Fiji as soon as the vaccine is rolled out. He actually thinks the borders will remain shut for another year.
I think we'll go most of this year with still substantial border restrictions. Even, if we have a lot of the population vaccinated, we don't know whether that will prevent transmission of the virus, and it's likely that quarantine will continue for some time.
I think this is really going to be the defining issue in the lead up to the federal election, which could be as early as later this year in the second half of this year, or obviously next year. And that leads us, of course, to Anthony Albanese. Still a lot of questions about whether he's got what it takes to take on Scott Morrison at the next election. Still, a couple of troublemakers in the ranks, Joel Fitzgibbon trying to gently lead him towards a different policy response, and a lot of growing speculation about Tanya Plibersek. Could she actually replace Anthony Albanese before the next election? I think going in Anthony Albanese's favour is that it would really have to be the right faction that would put Tanya Plibersek in. Of course, she's from the left faction. That's happened before. It happened with Julia Gillard, where she was really someone from the left faction who became a creature of the right to become Prime Minister. But one of the people stirring the pot this morning, talking about this polling that's saying that Anthony Albanese is not doing too well, is, of course, Joel Fitzgibbon, the former convener of the right faction.
Unless we recalibrate our policies, recalibrate our narrative, put the Labor back in the Labor Party and start talking more to our traditional base, we will continue to struggle.
I don't think that he would be thrilled necessarily, even though he probably gets on pretty well with Tanya Plibersek, about the idea of her leading the Labor Party. So, that could emerge, I suppose, as a bit of a benefit for Anthony Albanese, that there's no clear predators at this stage. Not a great start the year. He's obviously had that car accident, which was pretty scary, to front page headlines in the Australian about his future in terms of the leadership.